This is the president who's currently signing an act into law that denies due process to people who are undocumented migrants. Okay, like it just rips away their due process and allows the federal government to immediately deport them. That is the most insane. That's the most insane thing. Democrats voted for it.
Thank you very much.
Look at this animal.
Please. Thank you very much. Before we begin, I want to provide a brief report on the unprecedented success our country has been witnessing in recent weeks. Since even before the election, we've been making extraordinary progress. The American people gave us a clear mandate to save our country, and we won all 7 swing states by large margins, historic. Very importantly, we won the popular vote by millions and millions of votes. Also, all 50 states, as you know, shifted toward the Republican Party, and that's never happened before. All 50, every single one of them. In our first week in office, we set records, taking over 350 executive actions. That's not been done before. And it has reportedly been the single most effective opening week of any presidency in history. And we want to keep it that way. We want to keep it going. We want to keep it going. We've broken from decades of failed Washington policies and restored common sense and sanity to our government. We've unleashed American energy, and we've already achieved record low illegal immigration. As you see, there's nobody trying to get in. And that's what we've been waiting for a long time, and gotten woke ideologies out of our government and out of our military. The water has now begun flowing in California as we continue to increase the flow in coming days. Nobody's seen anything like that. And I've also taken strong action to regain control of the Washington bureaucracy. Just for clarification purposes, because it was incorrectly reported.
Is bro taking credit for water flow? Is he God? He said, I've been making the water flow in California. You know, that's called rain, man. What the hell? Like, is he saying like he made, wait, is Trump saying the Jewish weather machine is real and he hit him up? He's like, I made it. I made the rain. I went to my people. I went to the Jews. I asked them, do the weather in California. A lot of you live there. What's going on? Why haven't you done the weather yet? Do you want your own homes to burn down? I told them, do it. I struck a deal. That's cool, though. I'm glad that he did the rain. He blessed the rains down in Africa.
Yesterday, we have informed the federal workforce, which they've looked to do for many years, that if they're working for the federal government, they must show up to the office on time and on schedule. We don't want them. We don't want them to work from home because, as everyone knows, most of the time they're not working, they're not very productive, and it's unfair to the millions of people in the United States who are in fact working hard from job sites and not from their home. As federal employees, they must meet a high standard. They're representing our government, they're representing our country. If they don't agree by February 6th to show up back to work in their office, they will be terminated, and we will therefore be downscaling our government, which is something that the...
So this part's also crazy. It's not actually like an 8-month buyout. If they just can't go back to work, and if they've set their lives up in a way to do remote work, or if they're just like already worried about Donald Trump anyway, they can just take this. They can just say, all right, that's my 8 months I'm putting in my 8 months. Like, you know how you put your 2 weeks in? Yeah, you're putting in your 8 months in. You don't actually like leave and then they just have to pay you for the next 8 months. You have to work for 8 months. But you can work remotely for 8 months and then you're done. I just don't like, does Trump know? Oh, I mean, he's a real estate guy. So I guess, as a real estate guy, he knows a lot of, he knows, wait, what do you mean not true? No, I literally read, uh, I read what the situation looks like for the buyouts. They're not like full blown buyouts. Like a normal buyout would be like, we're giving you 8 months pay if you off and leave, right? You don't have to work those 8 months. Like normally, when companies want you to leave, they pay you like a decent amount of money to get you to leave. This is not, this is like, it's not severance. This is I don't know what it's called. Yeah, so it's by definition not a buyout. Yeah, it's not. Cuz you still have to work, chat. I thought it was a buyout. I thought the federal government was going to offer 8-month buyout. I was like, that's, I mean, decent, especially, I mean, that could be pretty solid depending on how many years you put in, right? But no, it just means you're saying, instead of, you know how when you quit, you're technically putting in your 2 weeks, right? Like, I'm giving you my 2 weeks notice. This is a 8 months notice. That's it. Also, I don't believe for even a second Donald Trump is going to fulfill these obligations and pay any of these people. No budget was been approved to pay people out for 8 months. It's a lie. Oh, also, yeah, that's the other part. That's the other thing that I was going to say. No assurances whatsoever that will happen. That's the other thing. I think Donald Trump is just going to be like, yes, we'll pay you. Yeah, we'll pay you. Don't worry about it. We'll pay you. And then just not pay them and be like, this is what happens. You chose to not, slave away at this government. So you must hate America. So you're getting nothing. You're getting nothing. He does notoriously hate paying. Like, I mean, that's the famous thing. Anyway.
Last 10 presidents have tried very hard to do but failed. Most of the people we're talking about have not been going to their federal offices in many, many years, from even before COVID. But they have nevertheless been paid. Some have worked, some haven't worked, and most of the studies say that some have just gone through the motions. We may ask these people to prove that they didn't have another job during their so-called employment with the United States of America, because if they did, that would be unlawful, as you understand. A lot of people are getting paychecks, but they're actually working other jobs, so they'll have to prove that to us that they weren't. In any event, we're requiring them to show up to work or be terminated. We think a very substantial number of people will not show up to work, and therefore our government will get smaller and more efficient, and that's what we've been looking to do for many, many decades, frankly. Thank you. In addition, there was a short-term pause or funding freeze on certain discretionary spending payments, such as government grants, only for us to quickly look at the scams, dishonesty, waste, and abuse that's taken place in our government for too long. As was explicitly stated, this in no way affected Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, or other entitlements that Americans depend on.
Scams.
I've made abundantly clear from the very first day that I ran from office. That was a long time ago now. That's 2015. If you think about it,
there is nothing funnier than a famously scamming real estate developer who very famously did a fucking rug pull a day before he officially became the president. A cryptocurrency rug pull is talking about how the real scam is Medicaid and welfare. The art of the deal, baby. Not a buyout. No, I said it's not a buyout. Oh, it says rare cases determined by your agency, you're not expected to work. So that was wrong. You don't have to work. The fuck? Does democracy die in the darkness? Because I feel like I read this on. I read something on the Washington Post that said that you did have to work for 8 months initially. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I didn't. I don't know anymore. I don't know anything anymore. It's not. It might not have been Washington Post. It could have been Associated Press as well. I don't even know anymore. Dude, I don't know anything. What the hell's going on nowadays? What the hell going on? Bob and Ennis sentenced to 11 years in prison. I know I'm going to talk about that as well. There's a lot happening in the world. Let's continue.
Announced in 2015, and we won in 2016. We did very well in 2020, but we did really well just recently. And I'm restating right now to correct any confusion that the media has purposely and somehow, for whatever reason, created. Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid have not been affected by any action we're taking in any way, shape, or form. We are merely looking at parts of the big bureaucracy where there has been tremendous waste and fraud and abuse. In that process, we identified and stopped $50 million being sent to Gaza to buy condoms for Hamas. 50 million. And you know what's happened to them? They've used them.
They've used them. They've used them to make bombs. Like, this is not real, by the way. As I said, a Guardian reporter investigated it and found that it was not real at all, which is the least shocking turn of events of all time. I said this yesterday when Caroline Leavitt was like, oh, I can't believe we're doing that. I can't believe we're doing that. I can't believe we're sending $50 million worth of condoms to Hamas. Yeah. Let's hear what Hamas is doing with the condoms that we are definitely sending.
As a method of making bombs. How about that?
Yo, I hate this shit, dude. I can't stand this motherfucker. I can't stand this stupid ass government. And honestly, it's kind of both parties at this point. Like, because this dumb shit was also happening under the Brandon regime too. Like, they are absolutely, maybe they wouldn't have said like, oh, we're giving $50 million to Hamas for condoms and they're using it for bombs, but they'd be doing that about like sugar. Okay. I hate this shit. It's like a different version. It's a different attitude that we have, whereas the cruelty is still the same. It's still worse with the Republican ownership, though. 100%. God damn, dude. It's so fucking stupid.
We stopped an attempt to make an illicit payment for illegal alien resettlement. We canceled $181 million in DEI.
Yeah, also, here's some snippets, okay? No, the U.S. was never about to send $50 million worth of condoms to Gaza because Israel bans the entry of condoms to Gaza in the first place, along with crutches, seeded fruits, oxygen cylinders, water filtration systems, sleeping bags, cancer treatment, maternity kits, just so you understand. So condoms aren't even allowed. According to a comprehensive report issued in September by USAID, not a penny for the of the 60.8 million in contraceptive and condom shipments funded by the U.S. in the past year went to Gaza. In fact, the accounting shows there were no condoms sent to any part of the Middle East, and just one small shipment of $45,000 in oral and injectable contraceptives was sent to the region, all of it distributed to the government of Jordan. For the financial year of 2023, the most recent, for which data is available, only about 7 million worth of condoms were distributed globally by USAID, and the vast majority of family planning funds were spent in programs in Africa. What did I tell you yesterday? I didn't know a single damn thing about the actual details of this program, and I was like, I'm willing to bet that this is not like literally sending condoms to Gaza or whatever, but global sexual reproductive health measures, and they're just lying, and none of that went to Palestinians anyway, but they're probably just straight up lying about this, and it turns out they are. Strange, there was a community note on this tweet a while ago citing my reporting that what Press Secretary Elon Musk told her is not true, but note that now that note has been removed. I wonder why. Here are the facts again for those who prefer not to be lied to. That's last year, and it still says the U.S. has sent $60 million for birth control and condoms somewhere else. Not the hill you want to die on. So if you sent condoms somewhere else and contraceptives somewhere else, that means you send it to Palestine as well. Oh, dude, I did not realize that. Like, I didn't realize if the circumstances were entirely different, then it still actually is an own. It still suits your purposes. I didn't realize, buying contraceptives for countries in Africa is the same as, giving it to Palestinians, I guess. Anyway, let's continue.
Training contracts. This is just for the training of people in DEI, which has been terminated and completely terminated. And we paused $1.7 billion in unauthorized payments to foreign organizations, including stopping more than $40 million that was on its way out the door to the very corrupt World Health Organization, which has not done its job and not done it properly. We also...
Like, who's clapping for that, bro? Why would you clap?
We also blocked $45 million for diversity scholarships in Burma. 45, that's a lot of money for diversity scholarships in Burma. You can imagine where that money went. These were the types of payments, and many others. I could stand here all day and tell you things that we found, and we have to find them quickly because we want the money to flow to proper places. But these were the payments and types of payments affected by the temporary freeze, and the American people strongly support these efforts. I talked about it during the campaign, and they voted for us in record numbers. Every single day, we're now putting America first and fighting to get the most out of every single tax dollar for our great citizens. We've gathered this afternoon to take another historic action. However, in a few moments, the Laken Riley Act will become the very first bill that I proudly sign into law as the 47th President of the United States. Laken was a brilliant and beautiful 22-year-old nursing student from Georgia, the best in her class. She was always the best. They would say, Laken, how do you do this? And what do you do? They were always asking her questions. She was respected by everybody.
Laken Riley's family was like, hey, can you please not make our daughter's murder political? And now her name is associated with like one of the most insane. It's so crazy. It's so wild. No, her mom is all about it. No, I know, but like, they speak at this event too, thanking him. Oh my God! I thought someone in the family said, "Laken Riley family, don't make this political." I know they've attended the Congress thing, but look. Laken Riley's dad doesn't want his daughter's death to be used politically. Mom, on the other hand, loves this shit. Laken Riley was killed while on a run by Georgia College campus. Suspect is a Venezuelan citizen who entered U.S. illegally. Father of Laken Riley doesn't want her death to be used politically. Mom, on the other hand, massive Trump head, loves this shit, is going crazy over it. Mom wants her 15 minutes of fame. No, mom is just never mind. I'm not even going to get that.
Her teachers, they respected her so much. From the time she was in first grade, Laken knew to spend her time caring for others. That's what she did. To her friends and classmates, she was a light of warmth and kindness in every single room. To her parents and family, she was everything in the world. They've had a miserable period of time. Just after 9 a.m. last February 22nd, Laken went out for a jog on the campus of the University of Georgia, but she was just never returned. She never came back, did she, huh? Her parents are here, sister, all of her relatives. While on her run, Laken was attacked, viciously assaulted, beaten, brutalized, and murdered by an illegal alien gang member who was set loose into our country by the last administration. We are deeply honored to be joined today by Laken's parents, Allison and John, and her sister, Lauren. Thank you very much. Thank you. So sad. We were together right after that happened, and it's a tremendous tribute to your daughter, what's taking place today. That's all I can say, but it's so sad we have to be doing it at all. Thank you very much for being here. To Laken's family, we will keep Laken's memory alive in our hearts forever, everyone's hearts. With today's action, Her name will also live forever in the laws of our country, and this is a very important law. This is something that has brought Democrats and Republicans together. That's not easy to do. Laken did it. Laken did it. America will never, ever forget Laken Hope Riley. The vicious criminal who murdered Precious Laken was an illegal alien member of the barbaric Venezuelan prison gang known as Tren de Aragua. He trespassed across our southern border in 2022 and was apprehended by Border Patrol, but under the cruel policies of the last administration, instead of being deported, as he should have been, he was released into the United States, as were millions of other people, many of them very dangerous people. And you see what we're doing? We're getting them the hell out of here. He was soon arrested again in New York City on charges of endangering a child, but because of New York City's deadly sanctuary policies, as we have in California and many other places, which we're going to end them, he was released again to reoffend. The Biden administration then provided this illegal alien criminal with a free, taxpayer-funded flight from New York to Georgia, where he was arrested yet again, constantly, this time for stealing from a Walmart along with his gang member brother, who was a bad one. Only after being released a third time by the U.S. law enforcement did this cold-blooded criminal go out in that fateful morning hunting for women on whom to prey. That's what he did. He hunted. It was like a hunter. And we're going to show him who the hunter is. This horrific atrocity should never have been allowed to happen. And as president, I'm fighting every single day to ensure that such a tragedy never happens again. We don't want this to happen. And under the law, thank you. Under the law I'm signing today, the Department of Homeland Security will be required to detain all illegal aliens who have been arrested for theft, burglary, larceny, shoplifting, assaulting a police officer, murder, or any crime that results in death or serious injury. In addition, for the first time ever, this act gives state governments the ability to sue the federal government for immediate injunctive relief if any future administration ever again refuses to enforce the immigration laws of the United States, like happened for 4 long years. And that was happening for 4 long years, frightful years. Amazing. You'd say, how can people do this? How can they allow this to happen? How can they allow criminals to pour into our country and then try and defend it? And they're still trying to defend it, but they can't. That's why I'm here instead of somebody else, actually. It's the biggest reason. I believe it's the single biggest reason. Inflation was horrible. Many things were horrible during that administration. When you look at what took place in Afghanistan, the way they got out, not that they got out, but the way so many things were horrible. But to me, this was the worst of all. It's a landmark law that we're doing today. It's going to save countless innocent American lives. I want to thank every House Republican, every Senate Republican, as well as the 12 Senate Democrats and the 48 House Democrats who voted to pass this vitally important bill, and many of them are with us today, and I really do appreciate it. And I very much especially appreciate the bipartisan support. The Democrats, really a big percentage of them came through, and plenty of them wanted to. They probably felt they couldn't, but they really wanted to. That they don't understand that would have made them a lot more popular, would have made them a lot better with their people. The ones that didn't are going to be sorry, because the people are not going to forget that they wouldn't sign. This is a perfect, incredible tribute to an unbelievable young lady. We're joined today by many great supporters of our new strong border policies, and they are indeed strong.
Yeah, what a tribute, dude.
Vice President.
Just the murder and permanent detention without habeas corpus bill that we named after a person who we named after a person who was brutally murdered by an undocumented migrant. It's the most racist thing. It's like, it's just, I can't even get over it. I mean, this is just, You've now permanently associated this victim with a horrifying unconstitutional bill forever.
And Vance, thank you, JD. The Secretary, Scott Bessent, who just got approved, by the way. Where's Scott? He just got approved. Scott, I'm very impressed. Got a lot of Democrat votes, too. He got a lot of Democrat votes. It's great. I don't know, is that a good thing or a bad thing? I'll have to think about that. Secretary of Homeland Security, who's going to be fantastic. I know her so well, and I know it's probably not complimentary because she is a woman, but she is tough. Where is she? Where is Christy? Christy, great. Stand up, please. You have such an important job to do. Really great. Thank you very much. And don't let that look fool you. That look is, she's tough, and she cannot stand what she's having to sit here and even listen to this today. Another one who's done a job.
Bro, what the f does that mean?
Nobody that I've seen in a long time. Tom Homan, he's my friend, but he is something special. He's something special.
What does that mean? It's probably not a compliment to say that she's tough because she's a woman. What does that mean? I don't understand. Well, sometimes Trump has a way with words where I'm like, okay, in the sea of just baying, like violent baying for blood, he'll just say something where I'm like, that's amazing. Thank you for introducing this statement. She's a woman, but very tough. Now, she probably won't like it. It's a bad thing. It's a bad thing to be tough and a woman. It's not a good thing, and women hate being called tough.
Right. And Tom and Christy, the numbers are unbelievable. What's happened? It's like just shut down. Nobody thought that was even possible. It's just shut down. They showed an area that a year ago had thousands and thousands of people rushing into our country. And today there was nobody there. It was like a beautiful sight. And also Senate Majority Whip John Barrasso. Great guy. Great guy. Thank you, John. And I also want to thank the bill sponsors, Senator Katie Britt. Katie, thank you, Katie. And Congressman Mike Collins. And Mike, you were fantastic from Georgia. He took this, he loves his state, and he took this very personally. So it's, thank you very much, Mike. As well as Senate Judiciary Committee Chairman Chuck Grassley. Chuck is here someplace. Chuck, thank you very much. You look great. And House Judiciary Committee Chairman Jim Jordan, who's a special guy, special man. And House Homeland Security Committee Chairman Mark Green. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mark. And we have many other congressmen and senators, but I'm not going to introduce because this is about your daughter. This is about something that's so important, and we're going to just go along. Thank you also. We have to say Burt Jones is in the room, and Burt is your lieutenant governor, and he was on this like you wouldn't believe. Thank you very much. I see you sitting there. Thank you very much. So we have state, local officials, we have law enforcement organizations, we have everybody. Most of them are in the room or represented in the room, and they're incredible people, and I've never seen them come together like they have for this. I've done many of these, not of this kind, but different bills, different passages having to do with many different things, from homeland security to inner security to taxes to 50 different items. I've never seen such support as you have today and as your great daughter has today. So I've never seen anything like it. And we have to thank your daughter for that, because she's going to save.
What are you saying? Have you heard the words coming out of your mouth? Like, we have to thank your daughter for being viciously and ruthlessly murdered by an undocumented migrant so that we could literally write a bill that, ruins the lives of millions of documented and undocumented migrants in the United States of America. First, and allows us to permanently detain them Did he actually say that? No, he didn't say the words like that, which I wouldn't be shocked if he actually did say the words like that because that's Donald Trump. But it's like, that's the principle behind saying, like, oh, I'm very thankful for your daughter. Like, look,
Different
I'm going
items.
to run
I've
it
never
again.
seen such support as you have today and as your great daughter has today. So I've never seen anything like it. And we have to thank your daughter for that because
Like, do you guys not know what's happening? Like, how this became a thing? Laken Riley got murdered, and then the Republicans used that murder by hyper focusing on it and publicizing it over and over again to make it seem like undocumented migrants were just like doing rape murders all the time, literally nonstop. And then they named the bill after her.
she's going to save a lot of lives. She's going to be responsible for saving a lot of lives. So I'd like to just say to the Angel families, I've been with them and they've been with me from 2015 when I first got this crazy idea in my head to run for president because we can do better as a country. I want to thank so many of the people that are here that have been the angel moms, and we call them angel moms, but they're angel families, fathers and sons and daughters, but they've suffered tremendously like you have for no reason whatsoever. I want to thank Alexis Nungari, the mother of 12-year-old Jocelyn Nungari, murdered last summer by 2 illegal alien gang members released into the United States by Joe Biden's open border stupid policies. And thank you very much, Alexis. I want to thank you very much. We had an amazing trip, and it was really special to meet you and your family. Appreciate it very much. So sad we have to be here, frankly. And Jocelyn, as you know, is in our hearts as she was then. It was an amazing day we had, a great day. But it was a day of celebration of somebody that unfortunately won't be with us. But she is with us now, you know that. Here also is Patty Morin, the mother of Rachel Morin, killed 2 years ago by an illegal alien who was let into our country by the last administration's ridiculous, weak policies. Open border, can you imagine? When I heard open border, I said, oh, that's terrible. They're going to release their prisons all over the world. They're going to release their prisons into our country. That's exactly what happened. Patty is joined by Rachel's brother, Michael, Rachel's daughter, Clementine, and sister-in-law, Shannon. Thank you all for being here. We appreciate it very much. Thank you very much. Thank you. With us as well is the loving family of Kayla Hamilton, a 20-year-old girl murdered in July 2022 by the MS-13 illegal alien gang member who is violent, vicious, and they knew it, and they didn't do anything about it. And I want to thank you to Kayla's mother, Tammy, and her grandmother, Kathy, and her stepfather, Jeremiah, very much. And finally, I want to thank others who have also suffered this horrible scourge that goes on with young people being killed, and other people too, but young people, largely young people being killed. Thank you to Scott Root, the father of Sarah Root, killed at 21 years of age. Think of that, 21, by an illegal alien. Shouldn't have been in our country, would have never been in our country if we were here. What a sad thing. To each of these angel families, we love you and we stand in awe of your courage and your strength. It's the toughest thing anybody has to go through. Many of the angel families here today were betrayed by the last administration and with this heartless and foolish and really very, very arrogant and very, very dumb policies. Policies that aren't even believable when you talk about common sense. I say we're the party of common sense, but the Democrats also, they have plenty of common sense, and that's why so many are here today and so many supported what we're doing. The very government that was supposed to protect their daughters instead opened our borders and transported the world's most dangerous criminals straight into their communities. They came from prisons and jails and insane asylums and mental institutions from all over the world, not just South America. People think South America. They come from all over the world. They come from every continent. And they came here by plane, and they were loaded onto buses, and they were driven right up to our border, and they drove right through the border, and nobody even said a word to them. And in those buses and those cars and those trucks were some of the meanest criminals anywhere in the world. As of last September, 425,000 illegal alien criminals were roaming free, including 13,099 convicted illegal alien murderers, of which about almost 50% killed more than one person, and they were roaming all over the country in our farms, in our cities. Under the Trump administration, we're moving with urgency and speed to get these vicious and violent criminals the hell out of our country and to restore law and order to our suburbs, our cities, and our towns. And we're going to do it with Tom and with Christy and with all of the people that are working so hard on this. This week, compared to a comparable time a year ago, think of this, the number of illegal border crossers has already fallen by more than 100%. And because the election was coming, they started getting a little bit tougher on the border. They tried to follow our policies, and they did much better, but it still was horrible. The numbers were still horrible, so that's 100% over those. They only did it because of the election, so they knew what they were doing was wrong. And those who do cross the border, and you're seeing that every time, all you have to do is turn on your television set or pick up a newspaper, or read any form of new media, because we have a lot of new media today, fortunately, that's letting the word get out. But they're watching these people be captured and removed from our country. ICE arrests have risen by 15 times in just a short period. And over the past 8 days, the heroes of ICE and Border Patrol, we can never forget Border Patrol. Those people, I've gotten to know so many of them. Our border czar, as you remember, never went to the border and never made a phone call. She was the border czar. She never made one phone call.
Yeah, get him.
They went to the heads of border. They went to the heads of ICE. Did you ever get a...
Shouts out to Hasan by Trump. Yeah, he is talking about me. For real. He really is. He's like, Hasan Abe, Piker. He's done a lot. He's done a lot for me. He's done a lot. Kept playing the song. I will vote for Donald Trump. He's done a lot for me and the Mexicans. That's why all of the Latinos voted for me. All the Hispanics voted for me. I love my Mexicans. Definitely don't want him aware of you. I'm not going to lie, at this point, they probably are. No, at this point, like, I don't think Trump knows who I am directly, but there's a non-zero chance that I've been brought up in at least a meeting that he was attending. But yeah, like, his sons know who the fuck I am. Guys, you have to remember, like, I'm like Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk is a part of the Trump squad. You know what I mean? This is a dude that I've debated all the way back in like 2016 at Politicon. I'm really important? No, it's not. It's not. That's not what I'm saying at all. What are we doing? I have like, it's so crazy, dude. I got the New York Times writing articles, like numerous mainstream publications writing articles about me, and the chat still are like, nah, dog, you got no motion, you idiot. Shut the up. Oh, look at you trying to act like you trying to act like anybody knows who the you are. Shut up, ugly ass. Like, guys, I don't know if you know this. XQC met Donald Trump, another person who I know very well, who I used to be very friendly with, who then got groomed by Andrew Tate and became this like right-wing guy, hates me, and also interviewed Donald Trump. Like, he interviewed Donald Trump. He kickstarted the Donald fucking Trump media tour. Anyway, not good. It's not a good thing. Aiden, you mean? Yes, Aiden Ross. I'm talking about Aiden Ross. But yeah, the reason why I said that is because he's talking about new media here. Their team is really tapped in on that stuff, dude. It's obvious, okay? It's obvious that their team is really tapped in on that stuff.
No. And she admitted she never made one call, but she was the border czar. And that's exactly what our border was all about. The heroes of ICE have arrested thousands and thousands of illegal alien criminals, including hundreds of gang members, traffickers, child predators, terrorists, and murderers. For the first time in history, we're loading dangerous and illegal aliens into military aircraft and flying them back to the places from which they came. You probably read about Colombia 2 days ago. They said, no, we're not taking them. I said, we're going to take them. You're going to take them. You're going to like it, too. You're going to take them. They talked about, we're not going to take people that are in shackles. I said, well, but the people that are in shackles are murderers, they're drug lords, they're rapists, they're very tough people. They make our criminals look like.
Aiden did
They're asking this.
Aiden did a collab with Vivek Ramaswamy. Oh my God. This has got to be a punishment, by the way. Like this, this has to be a punishment for Vivek Ramaswamy, dude.
One thing I don't really know if I should ask here. You could just.
Sometimes I think maybe I should have never started doing like political commentary on this. Sometimes I think to myself, perhaps doing political commentary on Twitch and just like in the streaming format was maybe not the best idea.
Sorry, this. I don't even know what that is. That right there. If you prefer me to stay.
A lot of people
What is that?
ask about. Oh, this guy keeps going. Yeah, so APAC is basically political, but APAC is a particular political donation.
Oh, okay.
So saying ask about, and I think that probably what they mean is like, what's the info?
Yeah, that's what they mean. That's what they're asking for sure. This is his penance for telling downwardly mobile whites to study Steve Urkel. It's the deranged right-wing version of making celebrities meet with Al Sharpton after saying something racist. Talk about a humiliation ritual. Yeah, this is the right-wing version of that. Even Ryan responded. He said, they even have his face looking chastened in the promo image. It's the saddest he's ever looked. He knows he wasted years pretending to love Babylon Bee and monster trucks, and he has to start all over again because of his big mouth. Dude, you coming to Twitch is a good thing. Yeah, but also sometimes I can't help but feel like the floodgates have been opened in terms of commentary on the streaming side. And, we had a good 4-year run where right-wing commentary wasn't as dominant, at least in this sector. And now it's just the floodgates have opened, dude. Pandora's box is opened. And I mean, look, it was inevitable that the right would move on to this new medium and really plant their flag in it. And we are there now. We are there. They're really planting that flag.
For nice people, that's about the only thing that comes out of this. And I say, could you imagine you're a pilot on the plane and you have your co-pilot and you're sitting there and you have 150 people, no shackles, and they like to murder people. This would not be a good flight. So Colombia apologized to us profusely within an hour.
I have a genuine question as a centrist. Fast forward 3 years, hypothetically, Trump's government has reduced overpopulation crisis. Well, not a real thing. Okay, but cool. Centrist, but worried about a crisis that's not real. Okay. Improved economy tenfold. Okay. Kept world peace and ushered in ceasefires not only for Gaza but also Ukraine. Would the left say he did a decent job, or would they still hate him despite positive results? So I can't speak for the rest of the quote-unquote left, unless you're talking about liberals. I don't know where liberals would go in that circumstance. Having said that, however, what an incredible hypothetical where Trump improved the economy tenfold. Yeah, that seems a little ridiculous. However, ushering in ceasefires for not only Gaza but also Ukraine. This is an interesting question. Now, it is entirely dependent on the ways in which this happens, okay? But if you're asking me where I would be on this issue, I'm fair always. If Trump does something that I consider to be a good thing, that I demanded that the Democrats do, for example, for months and months and months. We have a similarly guy that's coming up in popularity in the UK called Nigel Farage. We are worried about him. Yes, I know who Nigel Farage is. Okay? British centrist. I know. I'm very familiar with Nigel Farage and the Reform Party. And it's so funny to talk about Nigel Farage as an up-and-comer. Just this new little guy. Okay? Anyway. But yeah, if Donald Trump does something in foreign policy, in the foreign policy world that I somewhat agree with, and it's rare, but it does happen. I'm the first guy to give him credit. I'm the first guy to give Joe Biden credit too when he does something that I agree with, like pulling out of Afghanistan. Objectively a good thing that Joe Biden did. It was the left, the max left, if you will, that defended Joe Biden's Afghan withdrawal. Liberals immediately went after Joe Biden and started criticizing him in media, mainstream media. So that's it. If Trump does you don't come here to listen to me because I'm going to sit here and lie to you about what Trump is doing and make you feel better about voting for the Democratic Party. That's what a lot of people think I do because they just don't really have an understanding of politics in general, and that's by design. A big part of what I do is try to explain to people how American politics works or how politics works in general, how the media works in general. And I will always tell you what my biases are, and I think that's more honest than just hiding what your biases are, because I think everyone is biased. Okay? That's number one. You can make up your own mind about my commentary or my analysis or the things I'm saying with the full knowledge of knowing where I'm coming from. Okay? But regardless of my biases or my worldview, if Donald Trump does something that I agree with, I will always say, I agree with this. Yeah, I praised Trump in his first go around, right? First time he was president. I praised him for his rapprochement with the DPRK, 100%. I said that was objectively good and, dare I say, even better than the way that the Democrats had approached the situation. Do you think Asman has been or is being offered money to go full-blown right-wing talking head, even though I know he was dumb enough to think this already? No. Asmongold does not care about money. This comes across as an insane thing to say. He already has far too much money than he knows what to do with. No, this is pro bono. He likes the additional attention that he's getting. He loves the admiration that he's getting from some of these right-wing freaks who shower him with both praise and also views. It also 100% corresponds to his worldview as well. Please, I am Dodd. I am Department of Defense. With Trump signing the Gitmo order and the Laken Riley Act, migrants can be sent to Gitmo for minor offenses where they can be tried in front of a military tribunal. There's no plan to deport them. Trump wants to lock them up forever, either on permanent charges or execute them. It's horrible. Yeah, the problem with that is that Gitmo as a facility, I don't think can be permanently used as an immigrant detention camp. I think that, that is I know what you're saying. And I understand where you're coming from. I think it's going to be worse than that. But Gitmo doesn't have that much space. So I think the real scary thing is they're going to go after GEO, the private prison. They've already mentioned this. The private prison companies have already mentioned how wonderful this is. But what they're gonna end up doing is they will build more detention facilities and use private prisons to perma detain people.
Based on something I said, meaning you're going to pay tariffs like nobody's ever paid tariffs before, but they actually wanted to terminate his position. They're essentially Congress met and they were very angry with them. But they actually said they were going to send the presidential plane to pick up these criminals and to bring them because they didn't want to inconvenience us or have us do a second flight. And that's what they did. And I appreciate it. And I do appreciate the people of Colombia are wonderful people. And the representatives really acted well. And I appreciated they took back that tough talk. But, we may have tough talk from others, but it's not going to mean anything. They're going to all take them back, and they're going to like it, too. They're going to like it. They're going to take it back, and they're going to like it. Today, I'm also signing an executive order to instruct the Departments of Defense and Homeland Security to begin preparing the 30,000-person migrant facility at Guantanamo Bay. Most people don't even know about it. We have 30,000 beds in Guantanamo to detain the worst criminal illegal aliens threatening the American people. Some of them are so bad we don't even trust the countries to hold them because we don't want them coming back, so we're going to send them out to Guantanamo. This will double our capacity.
Yes, concentration camps. Remember, when I said that Trump said that he's going to do this and that this is real, there's a real problem, and it's real Nazi shit, I just want to remind you that people were like, nah, it won't happen. Well, it has.
Capacity immediately, right? And tough. That's a tough place to get out of. Today's signings bring us one step closer to eradicating the scourge of migrant crime in our communities once and for all. And it was just just an unforced error that we even have to be doing this. Now we need Congress to provide full funding for the complete and total restoration of our sovereign borders, as well as financial support to remove record numbers of illegal aliens. And these are illegal alien killers, criminals at levels that nobody's ever seen before. And you would have known that, and you were there when I said it. I said everybody that's bad is going to be thrown. If you look at Venezuela, Venezuela's crime is down 77% because they've taken their gang members, their prisoners, their drug dealers, their drug lords. They've shipped them all into the United States. Many other countries, their crime is way down, and our crime is not doing well. But we're going to have it do really well very soon, and we're shipping all these people back where they came from. And now, before I sign the Laken Riley Act into law, I would like to ask Laken's really incredible mother, who I've gotten to know. A very sad day I got to know her. But this is an amazing tribute to an amazing young person. And if you could come up, Allison, and say a few words, that would be great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Trump. We would like to thank Senator Katie Britt for her diligent bipartisan work to get this bill through the Senate. We'd also like to thank Congressman Mike Collins for his unwavering passion and for leading.
It took Hitler 50 days between becoming chancellor and the first camp opening, and Trump is on day 9. I mean, yeah, if you're rerunning the same route, you just know which mistakes not to run into, I guess. You can be more efficient. Bro has game FAQ pulled up. Yeah.
On the Laken Riley Act from the start. Our family will forever be grateful for the prayers of the people across our nation and for helping to get this legislation into law. We also want to thank President Trump for the promises he made to us.
So you're saying we did learn from the Second World War? Yes, the worst lessons. We learned the wrong lessons. We did learn lessons from World War II, just not good ones, okay? Bad ones. And here we are using the bad lessons that we learned.
He said he would secure our borders and that he would never forget about Laken. And he hasn't. He's a man of his word. We trust that he will fight for the American people. Most importantly, I want to thank our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, because without his sacrifices, Laken's story would have ended on that horrific day that she...
What are we... You're thanking Jesus because your daughter's horrific murder is being used as a political tool. Oh my God.
She was taken from us. But because of him, we can continue living knowing that we will see Laken again. There's no amount of change that will ever bring back our precious Laken, our hope moving forward.
By the way, if you want to know how like the Trump stuff works, look, Beitar US, join us at the Jihad rally as we assist ICE in deportation efforts. We will document all attendees and even those in kafiyas and masks will identify thanks to Terror Watch 613. Beitar will submit the names and attendees to Donald Trump. Get out now. It's simply to try and stop people. It's simply to try and stop people from exercising their First Amendment rights to free expression. Like, this is a vigil for Hind Rajab executed by the Israeli state, right? And at Zuccotti Park, they're setting up a vigil for her. Very famous story, as you guys know. And now that these pro-Israeli groups, fake AF, no, this isn't fake. That's not, you're wrong. We even saw this last night we saw this last night on Will's stream. Remember? If you were watching it at that point, it was like probably 3 a.m., 4 a.m. But there was a political rally happening in Japan, like randomly, okay? And in that political rally, groups from that party were filming the counter-protesters. There was a counter-protester at the rally saying, this is a cult, this party is a cult, this political party is a cult party. And the party itself, members of the party itself, were literally filming the counter-protesters. Why do people do that? They do that so that they can intimidate and harass. They do that so they can find, any sort of compromising footage of them. They do that specifically so they can stop any sort of counter protest from happening. This is the Zionist organization that is feeding the Trump admin the names of the people they want deported by simply attending the anti-genocide protests or vigils for tolerance by Israeli soldiers. The Trump admin is throwing away our constitutional rights to these vile people. Which civilians? Gaza has none, says Beitar USA. Yeah. This works alongside the face covering ban, the mask bans. Okay? Like, first they ban the masks so you can't, like, you know, hide your identity when you attend a protest or whatever. Then they petition the Trump administration to take, like, rigorous enforcement on people who are protesting against Israel, okay? Or even doing a vigil for one of the victims, one of the child victims of Israel, okay? They'll go there, and after unmasking you, they will film you, they will find your information, they'll dox you, and they will send it to the American government so the American government can take care of it, okay? That is precisely what's going on here. It is a multifaceted approach to stopping free speech and free expression and any kind of political demonstration from happening as it pertains to the issue of Israel. Okay? And then the Trump administration is now, with this latest executive order, looking to deport people. They're looking to deport people for this. It's crazy. It's completely unacceptable.
Is that her life saves lives. We're so thankful that her passion for helping others and her legacy for doing good in the name of Jesus Christ will carry on. Thank you.
Sign this in honor of Laken Riley. Okay? Honor of Laken. I don't think this, I respect that, but I don't think it's, I can just tell you government is doing very well, and we're cutting way back. Okay.